Welcome back. We have Wayne Cabot here, the afternoon drive host of WCBS 880 New York City. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me back, Eric.
So you're going to be on your, 16th year coming up?
Yeah, as an afternoon drive anchor, and it's amazing to me that it's 25 years at WCBS, which I don't think people last more than about 5 years typically at a radio station. So being 6'7", I've been able to duck somehow for all these years and keep out of the firing line. So let's cross your fingers it keeps on going, because I got kids in college.
There you go. Most recognize your voice, but not your face as much. What's it like being the anchor of one of the most listened to radio stations in the largest market in the world?
Privilege. It really is a privilege. I grew up listening to WCBS. My dad had it on in the car. I think for most of us, it's a station our dads had on, or our grandparents had on. And it's sort of that background noise. You wanted to hear music. You wanted to shut the darn thing off. But it kind of grows on you. And I realize what an important radio station it is, especially at times like when Sandy hit. And you realize just how many people are listening, what the reach of it is. We saw it in the ratings. Now that we have this measurement system where literally minutes go by and you can see the minute-by-minute ratings now, because it's a meter people wear. And we saw, what's crazy? After Sandy hit, in shore towns that lost their electricity, up and down the shore into Connecticut, Westchester even, about 2 hours after the power went out, we had a surge in ratings. And the theory is about 2 hours later, people's cell phones were dying, and they went to their car to charge their cell phones. And they put the radio on, and they would listen to us to hear when the power might come back on, to hear where the flooding was, to hear what was going on. Not just us, but all radio stations. And at that moment, it really sunk in what we'd always thought, that people were listening. We had this vague notion that we had listeners out there. We get phone calls and letters and complaints and all that stuff. But when we saw the huge spikes in the millions that tuned in, you realize the direct connection that you make. And so when I say it's a privilege to work there, that's what I mean. We have the ears and in TV the eyes of people who rely on us for valuable information, life-saving information. And you realize, wow, we're not just goofing around having fun on the radio, we're actually providing a strong public service. So it is humbling.
Wayne, although I listened to you for many years, I realize you're a Jersey guy. Tell us your roots in New Jersey.
Well, you know what? We can say now we're proud to be from New Jersey. For a while there's like, yeah, I work sort of near New York, but New Jersey is my home state. Grew up in Union, which has the world's tallest water sphere, by the way. Very proud of that fact, on Route 22. Then went out to Hunterdon County, where my parents raised us, out in farm country, former farm country, McMansion country now. And then all over the place. Trenton, I worked at WPST and WHWH, and then worked in Philly for 4 years at WFIL, went to college at Temple University. And then this is a long road map back to the Jersey Shore, lived in Howell and Brick, and then back up to Springfield and Cranford, and now back out to West Jersey, where we're raising our kids, where we grew up. So I've worked at any radio station in New Jersey that would have me. Some of them are still on the air, some of them I killed, I think. They're long since dark. And now working in New York City, I still consider myself the Jersey guy. When there's a question about Jersey, they flag me down. I tend to favor stories from New Jersey more than anything else. Probably I should be more fair and equitable I should do more Connecticut and Long Island stories, but to me, it's all about Jersey, and especially now.
Within your Rolodex, and I guess you and I could call it a Rolodex, you have some very unique individuals from the region. You talk to some of them on the air a lot, actually. Who are the most unique people you've met or had on the air in this region?
Well, you like to think of, typically when you think of interviewees on a radio station, on a news radio station, you think of politicians, and we've had plenty of those, congresspeople and senators. But really, the most unique has nothing to do with government or politics. It's the guy who's a world champion eater. What's his name? Joey Chestnut. The eating competitors. Of all the people people have asked me this question once or twice. And I'm like, you know what? I had the most fun and the most interest in talking to the guy who was able to shove down 62 and a half hot dogs in 10 minutes. And because the interview, this guy, first of all, he makes a lot of money doing this. He goes from hot dogs to lobsters. And wouldn't you love to have that job and be able to not get yourself completely violently ill in the process? You want unique? That's unique right there.
You mentioned New Jersey and being proud of being from New Jersey. You know, we have a gubernatorial election coming up. What do you think of our current governor, and what do you think about the race coming up?
Governor Christie is the strongest leader New Jersey has had in my memory. I mean, I came of age in radio during the Brendan Byrne, Tom Kean years, two very strong leaders. But nobody has been able to really lead New Jersey and give us a singular voice in my history, my memory, than Governor Christie. He started out somewhat polarizing. I think people have come to embrace him. His style was a bit jarring at first to a lot of people, but I think we realize where he's coming from, that his interests are in promoting the state. You'll have a lot of people who will complain that the social safety net has been weakened under the governor, and that case can certainly be made. People who are on the lower end of the socioeconomic ladder are maybe having a harder time getting by. Taxes have been kept low on most people, except the creep on the lower end has been evident. So, you know, when you take away progressive taxes, it typically hurts people at the bottom more. So, yeah, a case can be made by the Democrat competitor, Barbara Buono, that Governor Christie is not right for the state. But I think the polls show that most New Jerseyans believe in this governor as a leader, and it's going to be a very interesting fight in November.
Do you find him an easy interview because you've had him on?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's radio gold. He's a soundbite machine. You know that when you talk to Governor Christie, it will be compelling. You know that you're going to have stories that come out of it. And you know that people are not going to be turning the radio off, because he is he's so charismatic. And even more so in person, if you see him at a town hall meeting, there's almost an evangelistic feel to it. It's easy to get caught up and be drinking that Kool-Aid. And you try as a journalist to stay objective, but you can't help but feel proud about the state and feel jazzed up about where he is leading us.
Wayne, thank you so much for being here. It was really an honor to have you.
Gary, thank you.
And thank you for watching. We'll be back right after this.